we have the top 15 overall outfielders. And again, if you get 2 of these guys, you are golden. If you get one of those top 5, you're likely going to have a really good season, really that top 4. Um, and the only place I'll argue with you a little bit, honestly, is I like your 1, 3, and 4 better than your 2. Um, which I think
Yeah.
is fair, but I think any of the top 4 outside of the top 1 overall are really the next 3 are pretty much interchangeable. And I really, yeah, I mean, again, if you get 2 of these guys, that's a roadmap right there to winning any league. And if you get one of them in that top 4, you have one of the best players in the world. So go ahead.
Yeah, there's a few things I do want to touch on as we go through this too. But number one, Ronald Acuna Jr., which I think I remember on our last episode, you said with that knee thing, you wouldn't take him first pick. And so if you were drafting on that day, you may have missed out on Ronald Acuna Jr. And looks like he's going to be ready. It doesn't look like it's anything huge. So,
And that's
I'm
and
going to take a
again, and that's why
knee
I
lap
don't
here.
draft. This is why I don't draft on those days. That's
Sure.
I draft as close to the season as possible. That's just me. And I know guys can get hurt 2 days into a season. We've seen it 1,000 times. I mean, freaking Reese Hoskins, how close to the season did he get hurt last year, right?
Or O'Neill Cruz. Yeah, was another big one.
Yeah, exactly. So it happens. And it's crazy because I was working both of those games. I was working the Reese Hoskins game when he got hurt. I was working the game when O'Neill Cruz got hurt. I started to think I was a curse. People were, and then I was working on the fan during, I was producing the Yankee game when Domingo Germán threw a perfect game. So basically, what I'm trying to tell you is wild stuff happens if I'm working on a baseball game.
Either
Um,
really good or really bad. Yeah.
yeah, and spring training was rough because like all of my friends at Major League Baseball like started to really dislike me, because they just didn't like that the Reese Hoskins, they blame me. O'Neill Cruz, they blame me. Kind of rough. But yeah, Acuna, if he's healthy, take him, take him, take him, take him one. I regret everything I said on last episode. Don't listen to me ever again. Who's your number 2? I mean, we don't need
That's
to
all I
talk about
wanted to
Acuna
hear.
anymore. Yeah,
Yeah, that's all
exactly.
I wanted to hear. Number 2. So, and I actually don't typically rank this guy number 2. I think I just threw him on here as number 2 because a lot of people want to say he's the consensus 2, but
I
2
like
through
Mookie
4,
and yeah, I like
I
Mookie and
like.
Corbin
So
Carroll
yeah,
better.
number 2 I have Julio Rodriguez, number 3 Corbin Carroll, and number 4 Mookie. Tomorrow, if I woke up, I could throw Mookie number 2,
At
Corbin
2,
Carroll number,
100%.
and so
Yeah, I
I
think
think
Corbin
that's how
Carroll at 3 is
interchangeable
good.
it
I
is.
would swap Julio and Mookie if it was my list. It's not my list. So
And actually, most of my drafts, I've taken Carroll over Julio this season, like in mocks and stuff. So
yep,
I am a big Corbin Carroll fan, a big Mookie Betts guy.
me
No
as well.
problem with either of those three as 2, 3, or 4. Even Kyle Tucker, I don't have a problem really sneaking into, especially again, he's going to hit higher in the lineup this
Yep.
year. So Kyle Tucker at 5, I really like him at 5. I think that's great value. Number 6, I put Fernando Tatis.
And again, we talked a little bit more in depth about Tatis and Tucker on last episode, so I'll keep saying it. Go back and listen if you haven't,
Yeah, we don't want to
because if
rehash
it feels
everything.
like we're just glossing over some of these top guys, we did a lot of it on last episode.
Yeah, and looking at it now, I have Tatis 6, Juan Soto I have at 7. Those are 2 other guys
Yep.
I could see. If you want to put Juan Soto 6, no issue with it. I just like Tatis's speed upside a little bit more. But Soto, obviously being on a little better team, short porch, we love it. Number 8, Aaron. Yeah. Number 8, I have Aaron Judge. Number 9, Yordan
And plus, Soto
Alvarez.
and Judge are going to have to hit a ton to keep the Yankees in games with their pitching staff currently. So,
Yeah, maybe we'll give a call to Rami and see if he can throw a few innings for us when we need it.
I stopped on the way to Madison Square Garden last night. I went to the Knicks game, as you know, but the listeners might not. So, unless you follow me on social media, which you should be, I don't know why you wouldn't. But yeah, I stopped at a restaurant on the way in because I'm not paying prices for Madison Square Garden food. So I was at the restaurant on the way in. I'm wearing a Knicks jacket, and the guy in the restaurant goes, "I hear they're putting you in because the Knicks if you don't know, 4 of their 5 starters are hurt currently. That's why tickets were cheap, and that's why I went. Relatively, I should say, relatively for Knicks prices. But no Brunson, no Randall, no OG Anunoby, no Mitchell Robinson. So 4 of their 5 starters and 3 of their best players weren't playing. And some, classic New Yorker, the guy who's, I think he was the manager of the restaurant, was like, he was like an older, typical like Italian New Yorker guy. He's like, I think we're gonna put you out there. That's who's gonna play tonight. So that was funny. But yeah, I might start pitching for the Yankees as well. So I'm gonna be the first athlete to ever play for both the Knicks and the Yankees.
Yeah, you'll be a two-sport guy. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, they
I
didn't
look
use me
forward to
last
seeing
night,
it.
by the way, in the end, the Knicks. They lost because they
Well,
didn't lose me.
they lost because
Exactly.
they won, right? Yeah. So yeah, number 8 is Aaron Judge. Number 9, Jordan Alvarez. Number 10, Michael Harris.
Again, scared because he's playing the outfield. Continue.
Yeah, Jordan Alvarez. We're scared. Michael Harris is second at number 10.
I love Michael Harris as the 10th outfielder. He could give you top 5 value too. He could sneak into that level with Kyle Tucker and Julio Rodriguez. I think if he takes that next step, again, batting 9th in that lineup, less at bats. You never know.
That's his big. That's really the only knock on him. I
Yep.
will say too. I think he plays down in an OBP league. Michael Harris does because he's definitely a better average guy than OBP.
Okay. Good note.
High. But either way, I'm still going to take him probably over Luis Robert in most cases. Love Luis Robert, just
injury history.
Gotta stay healthy. Yeah, I mean, but again, could return top 5 value, no question about it. And then we jump down. There's a little bit of a drop off after 11 from Luis to 12. I have Randy Arozarena. Number 13, I put Adolis Garcia. Number 14, Cody Bellinger. And number 15, again, I think there's a little bit of a drop off here, but I do have Nolan Jones at number 15, which feels kind of weird because I there's parts of me that aren't really sold on Nolan Jones's breakout, but there's parts of me that are. And so I'm just like, it's hard to see him in there and not Mike Trout or even Jazz Chisholm or something like that. Like I like so many outfielders going right after Nolan Jones that I may not take Nolan Jones a whole lot, but he's definitely one of the top 15 guys. So
yeah. And again, just to reiterate why our tiers are so important is because, if you look at it, it's those top 4 guys and then maybe the next 3, and then the next 3 again, or next 4 again, if you include Luis Robert, and then really Arozarena, Garcia, and Bellinger are our group. And then Nolan Jones is the beginning of that next tier. That's why the tiers that we did on last episode, again, is really important. And from that tier, that later tier with Arozarena, Garcia, Bellinger, we talked about it also. We really like Garcia. Bellinger's a great floor play. Or sorry, I like Arozarena over Garcia. And Bellinger's a good floor play. If that is all you got, or if you have any other notes, speak now or forever hold your peace.
I love outfield this year, but I do still, like I mentioned last episode, I want to end up.
But you could get caught. This is where it could get dangerous for you. Like you like a guy, but you draft him 20 picks early. You know what I mean? And that could be really good, but that could be detrimental to your team overall.
Yeah, and there's so many fun young names. I'm really hoping PCA gets some playing time. I'm not really sure where it's going to come from, but Cubs guy Garrett Mitchell for the Brewers. I almost put Sal Frelick on here. I just drafted Sal Frelick in my NFPC. There are so many young outfielders who could,
and there are guys who don't play in the Midwest who are also really good. So if
like who, Jason Dominguez. Oh wait, we won't see him till June or July.
By the way, he's every day he's out there. He's taking BP. He's throwing cat. I don't know. We might see him sooner than you think. I'm just saying. I mean, if you're willing to wait 3 months on Ronald Acuna, you can't, draft him at pick 400 and wait 3 months on him.
You could. Where's is he going at pick 400? I'm kind of curious.
I don't even know where he's going.
Let's see. What's his name? Jason.
I think it's JSSO.
Yeah, he's going at 530. So right in between Nick Senzel and Bretton Doyle.
Screw everything else I said. He's my best value play. Shut up, everyone.
Yeah, there's not really many people going around him.
I think the best value in outfield this year is probably Aaron Judge, Juan Soto, Jason Dominguez. I love Trent Grisham because I think a lot of those previous 3 guys I mentioned will spend time on the injured list. I still love them, but I think they'll also get hurt a lot. Trent Grisham, I really like. I like Trent Grisham better than I like freaking Alex Verdugo. I think Grisham might end up playing more than Verdugo. And then I also love Starling Marte and McNeil and whoever else plays the outfield for the Mets.
Oh, so you're not fair weather, or you're fair weather in New York. You like Yankees?
No, I'm just East Coast bias. Okay, that's it. Okay, East Coast bias. I also love Kyle Schwarber. I like Nick Castellanos. I think Castellanos is underrated. Brandon Marsh is going to have a monster year. Just
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry. I think the Midwest.
Hey, East Coast bias. I get Acuna. So I get Acuna. I get Harris.
You know what it is? Is the Central divisions this year, I think, are the most interesting divisions. Like the other ones, either are
because they're always blah. They're always nothing.
Well, the AL East is going to be a bloodbath, right? That division
Yes,
is
it's
just
true. No, it's
disgusting.
crazy. Yeah.
And we know with the AL West, right? There's three top teams, and a lot of those divisions and those
By the
teams
way,
are
we
solidified.
didn't mention him on this episode. I fully talked myself into Colton Cowser.
Good, good, as you should.
Like he's going to play this year.
There's a lot of it's so hard where I don't know where they're going to find playing time. The
Yeah.
Orioles could field two teams, and two teams would be better than Oakland Athletics at this point. Like that's how
That's
deep
not even
they are.
close. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, two teams might be better than the Mets. You know what I mean? Like
that's true. That'd be an interesting little experiment trying to break those up.
you're
But
saying, yeah, we should do that when we do the all contracts team, which is coming up. Because okay, so as we wrap this up, because I feel like we have to wrap this up.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, when we do the all, we'll do a few more episodes because there's still pre-draft, and then there's that weird time where it's probably going to be in between the draft because the drafts, and then there's people are probably going to have drafts 10 days before the actual season starts because the regular season starts 10 days before the season starts, which is idiotic. But what I will say is, we're going to do pitching, and that's it, right? We've only, I mean, I love when Apple
Whoa,
does the
that's
thumbs
cool.
up thing. You
Oh,
don't have an
I don't have
app. I know
Apple.
you.
No,
Yeah,
no.
exactly. Of course. Yeah, I have to
Ooh,
text you. I
Apple.
sent for everyone listening. I sent Vince a picture last night because he's like, "Hey, are we recording tonight?" And I sent as a response, I sent him a picture of Madison Square Garden. And then like 3 hours later, he texted me back. Oh, I didn't realize you're at the Knicks game because he saw on Twitter that I posted the picture. I sent you the picture 3 hours ago.
No, you
Like,
didn't. I think you're lying. I don't think.
oh man, now I'm gonna
No,
have to show it to you.
no,
Oh man, this
no.
sucks for you. This is about to suck for you. Um,
I mean, if you just want
yeah.
to tell me that you overpay for your stuff for the name, it is what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, there it
See,
is.
most
I
people,
mean, there's your
they
name
don't.
at the top.
Yeah. VJ. What is J? That's not me. I am not
Just
J.
baseball.
Oh no,
Oh,
that's not me.
yeah. Fine. I'll read your text back.
Blasphemy.
Fuck. I didn't know you were at the Knicks game. Fuck recording. Have a good time. Have a good tome. Yeah, that's
Tom.
you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
That
that's
was me.
definitely you.
Yep. No. Yeah. It was.
I have
I'm
to put a
glad you had
little
fun.
E on the episode. After I spend so
Yeah.
much time.
Explicit
Yeah, after I
about the
spent so much
nuts and
time not swearing because there was one thing that I really wanted to say. Now I can't remember. So go back in time and pretend I said shit earlier in the podcast. Um, that's all I got.
yeah. No. Good
Are we done?
episode. Good wrap. Yeah. Let's do
Yeah.
starting
All
pitching
right,
next
perfect.
time.
So we'll do starting pitching, we'll do relief pitching, and then my point was that we're gonna have other episodes prior to the draft pit specific guys against each other, whether it's a pitcher or an outfielder, and it's like, hey, who should you take at this spot? We'll do stuff like that. We'll do some fun stuff. Maybe we talked about doing a best ball draft for the two of us that we're in, and we live drafted on the air. So just a bunch of fun stuff. And that we could even do. That's a good idea for us to do after that initial opening day.
Yeah.
For the
In
rest of the
between that
season.
week or something
Yeah,
or
that week
something.
when
Yeah.
it's gonna be like dead.
We
I
also
will.
should. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, you.
We should bring on. We're gonna bring on the this guy in our who is a Just Baseball writer. I forget what his name is off the top of my head. Miller. I know his last name's Miller. Because he's in my NFBC draft, so we'll break down our NFBC draft together and
Awesome.
kind of go through some of the picks there.
Yeah, and next week I'll be away a couple of days, but we should still be able to do Sunday and Thursday if we
Yeah,
do it right.
yeah.
If we record it right,
Okay.
that's when the episode should drop, and we'll be in touch, you and I, about when we record. But until then, everyone, please subscribe, like, and subscribe. I saw some of the videos on YouTube also are picking up some steam, so we appreciate that. Keep liking those because those videos are awesome. We'll have more coming your way. Until next time, I will see you all later. See ya.